Beyonce with a touch of Magdalene.
What is
They went to Beyonce with a touch of Mary Magdalene.
You're delving into societal stereotypes about unmarried single women. What are some of the things that people tell you out there?
For being a woman and of course single, they think first, let's say the truth. They say when you sort of kamalaya enjoy. So that's the first thing that comes in people's mind because and people can confirm she's very
beautiful. See, let's not tafuta.
See, let's not have it in the inside.
No, it's in the inside.
No idea why people always think that, but uko nje soko ni chafu.
Lakini kuna watu wasafi.
Yeah, wako.
Hello, and how are you? How have you been? I hope you have been doing great. I am lovely. I am doing well. Welcome to another episode of Woman by Design podcast. As always, I am your host, Eddah Nzia, and I really enjoy to, and I'm happy to have you. Like I always say, it's just never the same without you here. Now, I hope you have followed through episode 4 and 5 of our previous episode for our previous podcast when we were talking about thirsty singles. I have received a lot of your feedback, a lot of your comments, and we really appreciate. I know you learned. I hope, especially in the last episode, you just took your time to have a moment of self-introspection and see what really works for you and thrive in your singlehood. And maybe just to read a couple of comments that I saw. The Joy of Truth said, me telling the singles, I know you're struggling with these things. Kumbe in their mind, they are like, our lives are not that dull. Yeah, our single lives are not that dull. And Akinyo Odhiambo said, Nyambura is spitting facts left, right, and center. Kwanza hapo kwa every guy looks attractive at a certain time of the month. Eloi, Nyambura, release us on. Thank you, Akinyi. We received your feedback. Prince Kilele encouraged the sisters to hang on in there. Samuel Simiyu said to Megusa Mrima, the conversation moja legit mbaya. I am so glad that you found the conversation to be legit. And also Akeyo said, this one though, thank you for the episode. More grace time. Mkitumia masamki namba ya Nyambura, mnitag. Yeah, the comments are quite a number of them, so I may not be able to read all of them, but thank you so much. Continue keeping us engaged. Let us know what else do you want us to highlight or talk about in this podcast. Now, today we delve into a completely different discussion, and oh my goodness, you're gonna love this one. I am coming to you with a question. Why are you still single? Mtoto wa Kiafrika, msichana mrembo. You know, there's this song we will sing kitambo and say, msichana mrembo.
Kama wewe.
Ni kitu gani kinakufanya
usiolewe?
Elimu nao ya kutosha.
Exactly.
Sijui ni nini, and there are those things that will be put along, and then finally you are asked ni nini na kinakufanya usiolewe. Today we delve into a very interesting conversation especially for people who are 25 years and above and you are not married. How is it to just live in an African setup with all these eyes looking at you and asking you why are you not married? I am with very interesting guests with me. On my right is Tabitha. Hi, Tabitha.
Hi.
I'm so glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Look at me saying glad to have you as if I'm the owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Sana. Yeah, Tabitha is an educator. Maybe you can just introduce yourself.
Okay, so I am Tabitha Nyambura Philip. Yes, I am still single.
Yeah.
So that question is right there at the top. And I am an English literature teacher at MSB Educational Institute. Aside from that, ministry-wise, I am in the praise and worship team and also in the media department at church. Yes, so I get that question a lot.
Yeah, wasichana warembo kama hao
Kama
maswali. Heidi.
Hi.
So lovely to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. The conversation that question comes with a lot of sweating. Because
I hope you're not sweating right now.
I'm not sure kama unajajiwa after your answer, because most likely asking the through a judgment answer on it. So yeah, niliona hiyo invite yako niko like, okay, umeamua kunianika kwa kumwaga mtama kwa
kanachoma
ama ni kuku yenyewe kwa mtama.
Mtama kuku all of them.
Para kuna mtama na kuku
pamoja. Mtama na kuku pamoja tuliwekwa huko. So tuko hapa mtuone.
Ni sisi tuko.
Sisi ndo tuko.
All right. Dee has already actually opened this up when she actually says she felt like ni kama when you talk about this topic ni kama watu watakujudge after that. And we are delving into societal stereotypes about unmarried single women. What are some of the things that people tell you out there? I remember a couple of years ago, I didn't get what my mom was saying, but we were just chatting with my mother one day about some of the people I have been seeing, beautiful ladies, and I was wondering, why is so and so not married? Why is so and so not married? And one day I asked my mom, and we had a chit chat with my mom about it. And then I would tell my mom, hata mimi naweza taka kukaa kidogo, enjoy my single life, travel, you know, all these things, my friend. That's what I'm doing right But at the end of it,
what are you saying?
Me hata hakunigonga jicho. She actually said, unajua, and with a very serious face, unajua vile society inaonanga wasichana kama hao. I asked my mom, kwani wanaonekananga aje?
Yeah.
She actually never answered, but she said, when you grow up, you will know. I don't know if I am here.
Have you grown up? That was a question.
Please stop attacking me, you people.
The example.
So if you've grown up, you have the answer.
I don't know if I am meant to grow up, but I am learning. I am actually understanding what my mom was talking about during those years. I came to Mombasa a year ago, and during house hunting, I will go to some of watu wa nyumba. Unatafuta nyumba and mtu anakuuliza umeolewa. It was my first time to hear such. So after talking to a number of my friends, they actually tell me watu wa Mombasa wako hivyo. They prefer having tenants who are married.
Yes.
That was quite shocking for me. That this thing has actually come all the way to, you know, matters to do with just renting a house. Why don't you just rent a house to me, Juniko single? Dear, hii story kwako iko aje?
Kurent nyumba.
Not really kurent, but what are some of the stereotypes of the society about us?
The stereotypes. Uko single. Why are you single? First of all, being a woman, na uko single, they think first, let's say the truth. They say wewe ni sort of kamalaya, enjoy. So that's the first thing that comes in people's mind, because ama uko na wengi unashindwa kuchagua, and especially if you are beautiful, and people can confirm she's very
beautiful. See, let's natafuta.
See, let's natafuta beauty in the inside.
No, it's in the outside.
Alafu ile mnaambia beauty ni a beholder.
Hakuna ile wote ni beholders.
Wote ni beholders. So especially when you are on that end, it's so hard when people can't accept you're just single. You know, majority of them conclude you have many options or many partners when you are so hard to choose from, or you are just, especially siku hizi ya kusema unaweza kwa siku hizi nasikia inaitwa person sharing.
PP.
Sila basi vienda mbio. Siku hapo.
Nimesikia rumors ya hiyo person sharing.
Yes, like
okay, person sharing ni nini?
Like wewe ni person wa watu wengi wanakushare.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And everyone is functioning differently.
Yes. You see.
Person sharing. Nikisikia hivyo kama si hoteli peke yake siku hizi.
Be careful before you answer that.
Exactly.
You being referred to. So in that context, it gets hard, especially the older you get. Another stereotype I get ni
maybe to hold on. Tabitha, what's your take, or what have you heard about this thing? Maybe it's because you're promiscuous. What are your thoughts about it?
I have no idea why people always think that, but uko nje soko ni chafu.
Lakini kuna watu wasafi.
Yeah, wako. But also unapata because of that one, or because of the few people that you know that have quote unquote been promiscuous, everyone thinks everyone is the same. It's more or less the same as, sorry to bring this out, when someone asks you, are you a virgin or not? The assumption is almost everyone is not, because of the people they've interacted with. So it's the same with us too. Yeah. So just because you hashtag and not with someone yet and you're not married doesn't necessarily mean that you are promiscuous or pap ukona pipi. But just going back to the aspect rentals, Mombasa actually has a big deal with reference to whether you're married or not, and it's not just for women, it's also men.
Also single men.
Also single men. Because there are landlords who prefer dealing with people who, quote unquote, are responsible. Because for them, family, if you're part of a family, that means you're responsible enough to take care of the house that he's entrusting you to stay in and everything else. Yeah. But if you are single man or single, especially with men, the notion is huyu atakuwa anabadilisha watu kama tissue. So we will see Wanjiru tomorrow, next day we are seeing Nzia, the other day we are seeing Atieno, so there will be a lot of promiscuity going on. If it's a lady, more or less the same thing. Leo akona George, kesho akona John, you're squeaking. So the whole maintaining the respect that the society should give you nika ilipotea kitambo just because of a few bad apples, so to speak. I think the one stereotype
but I think even to hold on to what you are actually saying, there's another stereotype that is coming up from what you're saying, that because you are a single person, you are irresponsible.
Yes.
The society
they believe
actually
can parent.
Yes.
The thing I got, especially when I was searching for our town island, the statement that was coming out, it's hautaweza, uko single, hautaweza nyumba town, unaona, or unless when it's msichana wa mbaba kuna disco, unaona. So I remember the current house I'm in, I was actually going for the bedroom that was vacant. You see? So the person who had referred me there, it's a funny story, let me say it. The person who had referred me to the house and told me it's a 2-bedroom but suitable for you. You see? Okay, I have one child, so I'm a single parent. So at that point, I was like, yeah. You told me it's not like those grown 2-bedroom, it's just a small one but with 2-bedroom. So I'm like, I'll come sit. So naenda landlord, the first thing aliniuliza ni hiyo, are you single? Mzee ako wapi? So nikamwambia mzee ni mimi.
Na mama ni wewe.
Ni mimi. So we go and he shows me the house and you could feel hata akikwambia rent anakuambia kimadharau. Like hautaweza. So I told him I really need this house, especially this location, because it is serving so many of my needs. I operated in town, I work in town, I go to church in town, my son is in school in town, so I need the house then. It's perfect location for me, it's almost near the road and everything. So akaona kama nimeturn serious kidogo. But at that point he was like, okay. So he was like, akaniambia sasa rent, kama nipe rent ukiwa serious pia wewe, you are uko serious. So he gives me the true kind of figure. So akaniambia nikamwambia it's okay, you can give me the payment plan and then all of a sudden it's like lakini stakani kupea mtu single 2-bedroom juu atakuja kunisumbua huko mbele unaona. Nyinyi watu single mnakuanga unstable sana. Unaona, unstable sana. So what I do, acha niko na 1-bedroom hapa chini, acha nikakuonyeshe. So, okay, I was desperate to move. The mistake that singles we do in many things.
Yes.
Yeah,
desperation.
Desperate everywhere.
Everywhere. Kutoka soko unatafuta na desperation.
So we are there and then akanionyesha and accept and get in. Long story short, currently it tells me I'm the best tenant.
Wow.
It tells me like umeshinda hao wengine wote.
I'm glad you have lived out well.
You know. Yani ananipenda, me I can call him, tell him I have an issue. immediately nasotiwa. My neighbor complains her whole mpaka alijiza niambia, hey, ni kama huyu. Sasa the worst thing. Sasa kwa single, alafu ni see the landlord ni male
they
na
begin
kusa.
they have pairs.
Something.
Matchmaking. Yeah.
No, it's my rent nimeiweka one point like me sivukangi hiyo first. Latest naweza mpea rent ni hiyo first. So pia kuna kale ka respect amenibeba nako. So yeah, to say the least, stereotypes ni mingi.
Yeah, sana.
Hey, I'm glad wewe uliambia your landlord ati mzee ni mimi. I actually had to look for a male friend, and the day I went to the male friend is the day I got a house.
Wow.
Funny enough. And I had searched for a house for a good number of days. I was actually so frustrated on almost, deciding history ya nyumba Mombasa na achana na. But I decided to pick a male friend and tell them, see, we go. That is the day I got a house. So I am glad that you're actually proving that, especially to the landlord, that it's possible for single people, single and married women, to be responsible.
Yeah.
Because the society has held this notion, and it's quite unfortunate that even some of these people are our own parents. I'm not saying my parents do that, but I've had conversations with parents, and the attitude they have towards their child, that they think they are irresponsible simply because they are not married.
Unasikia olewa ukwe serious.
Exactly. And then you're left wondering, kwani what have I been doing? And then funny story.
I'm not serious.
So the funny story is you find yourself taking part in some of the responsibilities in the house. Unaambiwa pay this, pay that.
They actually assume pesa yako inanga kazi.
For some reason.
You're not paying school fees. You're not doing this,
you don't
so where do you take your money?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's expected.
Behind the scenes, you have two things.
You still have a whole life on your own.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about it. How do we address the issue, and then we're going to tackle that. I don't know which other stereotype have you faced? I don't know. Now that we are in a Christian setup, of course we are speaking to ladies who are still Christians and non-Christians, but have you been told you are too religious or umekoka sana? It's as if you're expected to dine and smile with every angel and demon for you to ndio ukubalike, I don't know if you have encountered that.
I have.
They say they want a Beyonce with a touch of Mary Magdalene.
What is it? Yeah.
They went a Beyonce with a touch of Mary Magdalene.
Okay.
So you have to have Beyonce, I'm a Cardi B, I'm all those secular people, the
So
stars.
basically you have to have a touch of both worlds.
Yeah, they want you to.
Because you don't know where the potential suitor will be.
The sad part, sometimes it's the men who are asking you this when you are like kind of in a courtship trying to date.
Yeah.
Anakuona kama umekuwa too religious trying to, and it's not too religious. It's like when you start having a personal walk with Christ, there is a way your standards start changing, your preferences change, and your moral ground shift.
Yes.
You can't be in a church where you're being taught about purity and all that, and you're not practicing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you are going on with this guy asks you for a date, first date. Excuse me, kwa maximum nyingi sana ni 3. Ya 4 kuja kijana.
Yeah.
So like at that point you are like telling a guy, anakwambia uko too religious for
punguza kidogo.
Too religious. Hizi vitu haziendani.
And they actually give you examples of your friends, which might actually sometimes not be true.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, it's just to wink you, you bow down. I think it's how it goes to the extent of how desperate you are to get into that.
Yeah. And
Very
then
good.
and then the whole aspect, especially if you're in ministry, it even makes it even worse for you, because now the guy thinks that you do not even have any time to give them. So #wewe ni wa kanisa
na kazi na kwa nyumba yako
basi na hiyo kanisa. There's this colleague of mine who usually kind of puts it ati wewe sasa inaonekana tu ni kanisa imekuoa. Juu wewe ni wa kanisa. He goes to the extent anasema kanisa itakumaliza. So ufanye hivi wewe achana na kanisa ukuje tuone.
The Beyonce with a touch of Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
I think there's an important point that D you have brought about. It all depends with the desperation that you have when you want to get into that relationship. And maybe to just you, my viewer, if you are unmarried single woman and you're looking at your ears and you feel like miaka imeenda, what next? A friend some years back will tell me, when you get to 26, I don't know, 26, 27, it's like there's a button, there's a button that is pressed, and you now start freaking out and wondering what happened. Miaka imeenda aje? You look around and your friends are married and they have kids, and you're wondering, where have I been or what have I been doing? How is your life when you just reflect on yourself? How's your life? What do people say to you? How do people address you? How are you treated in certain spaces? And what are your thoughts about this? So for now, we'll have to wrap this up. And then we'll meet in episode 2 as we also continue the same discussion of what does the society think about unmarried single women. See you next week.